A very warm welcome to one and all. Success Tales welcome you all to another exciting episode of Real People and Real Stories. Rightly quoted by Michelle Obama, there is no limit to what we as women can accomplish. Today, we have with us a Mumbai based woman whose courage led to the big change in the age old rules of the government. Earlier, the process of passport approval for a child required signature of the father. But thanks to this woman of grit and determination, whose courage and persistence changed the rule. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are extremely honored to have with us none other than Zaria Patni. Welcome, Zaria, to Success Tales.
Thank you so much, Sugandha. I'm so
Welcome.
happy to be here. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for giving me a platform as well.
Whatever. We are so excited. The day you said that, yes, let's catch up, and we were already excited. Thanks for accepting our invitation and supporting our
Most
humble
welcome.
initiative. Yeah,
Most welcome.
yes,
Most
Zaria.
welcome.
So, many of the people already know you, Zaria. But through this platform, I would like to ask you a few questions. I know you have already done this before many a times, but then there is still a larger section that needs to listen to you to hear you, right? So,
Yes,
yes, Zaria.
100%.
So, Zaria, you got married at a very young age, 19, if I'm not wrong, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
So,
yes.
how and where did you meet your partner?
You know what? I've never been asked this question. No one's, I think, till date, I've
Really?
never been asked this.
Okay.
But
Hmm.
we were actually I can't say family
Okay.
friends also.
Mm-hmm.
Like my grandfather knew his family,
Okay.
and my grandfather happened to give his family a flat in my building,
Okay.
and his family never stayed here. They just had the flat,
Mm-hmm.
and he would frequent from Dubai, Bombay, and I was still much younger. Um, I was 18 and he was say 24, and that's when his parents would I was always very tall for my age, so people always assumed I was much older than
Mm-hmm.
my actual age, and they started finding out about me, where she goes, what is she studying, what's she doing. And he would, like, a casual hi and bye.
Of
I mean,
course.
I never really thought like casual hi and bye was actually
Hmm.
like having some other ulterior motive. Again, I was much younger. I was very
Mm-hmm.
oblivious to manipulation and what people can do
I
to
know.
like get their way and the things they can say basically.
Mm-hmm.
And because we were just like one floor above, and his parents would meet me, and once he saw me and he's like, oh, my parents are really fond of you. And I'm like, okay. And he asked my driver where I studied, and
Right.
he was for the same college that I was going
Okay.
to. He passed out much earlier, and then
Okay.
he came out there, like he knew the timings, and he basically done all his homework.
Mm-hmm.
And he started chatting, and then he's like, like, this is what I do. I've
Yes.
been doing this. And
Got it.
I was like, oh, nice, like a nice Muslim boy. He's like grown up, and he
Hmm.
wants to get married. And he just kept talking more about himself, and like, I don't do this, and just like basically
Yeah,
praising him. So
of
even though we
course.
lived in the same building, I never interacted with him because his family never lived here. So that's
Right.
how I actually know him.
So, like after marriage, you relocated to Dubai, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah, when did you move to Dubai with your partner? Like,
I I moved with him, I think, right, like a week and a half after I got married in 2006. So
right.
I was in 2005, sorry. I
Okay.
was living in Dubai from 2005 May till 2006 of Feb.
Mm-hmm.
Feb, yeah. So that was like
So,
the only time I was married to him.
right. So it was a new start, a new beginning for both of you in Dubai, right?
Yeah. He
Right.
all he always lives there.
Okay.
I got married and went there. Yeah.
Fine. So, like, when did you start sensing that, the marriage wasn't going in the right direction? Like,
So I can't even say that the marriage wasn't going in the right direction. It was almost like this human is not in the right direction. It was nothing to do with the idea, the marriage part of it. It was on the second day after we got married, on the reception day, when my family and friends had come, and everyone was like, my entire class had come, because I invited my whole class when I got married, like my classmates from school, and because I was the closest to them when in that year. And like he had already met them on the Mehendi date. Like all of them wanted to go see who's the guy, and they're not like properly met him before, only a bunch of them. And they're like, oh, he's so nice, he's so sweet. Like they literally, all of them went to his house to see him, because I guess in Indian families you can't see them before you get married and stuff like that. So I didn't see him. They went and met him, and when they came on the reception day, suddenly he just goes and, like, you know, like he said, whisper abusing in my ear, saying, who are all these random people that have come? In my head, I'm like, but you just met them a day back, 2 days back. Like, why would you say these kind of things? And he started abusing in Hindi. So I could not personally understand what was going on. Like I know for a second that my whole body went in like a shutdown mode. And even on the wedding video, you could see like my face is going down, and he's telling me also stop making a face, because that time they used to have those, you know, those blow up screens where the bride and the groom's faces were like blown up, like everyone, the whole public could see. So that was what was there at the reception, and you could see my face go down. And I was like, why are you abusing? He's like, wow, these useless people. And he said a bunch of things. And that's when I was like, in my head, I was like, oh my God, have I made a mistake? Am I marrying somebody wrong? Because he literally told me for the 9 months that I knew him that he never abuses. And someone who's saying like dirty Hindi galis, not, I can't even say abuses, like galis is like someone, I'm like, how does it make sense?
Right.
It was not fitting in my head. And that was the first thing. So then I put it on, okay, maybe he's nervous, or, you know, like wedding jitters or whatever people call it. And that was my first reaction. Then I let it pass. When we went back to Dubai, there was another function out there, and no one, that time it wasn't so open. Like things were very small. If I can think about the things that he has probably said, like, oh, why are you eating in this way, or why are you watching this show? Like everything that I did that was what I liked was always, but why this, but why that, why do you want to shop here, why do you want to go here, what is the issue? I never picked up on all of this. I couldn't understand. I always thought it became almost like maybe I am at fault. Like if I'm eating this, I should not be eating this. If I'm wearing this, I should not be wearing this. Or maybe this shop is not good. Like he knows better. It literally became that he was always right and I was always wrong in every single thing I did. And if I tried to say something about my childhood that was something similar to him, his answers like, oh, you always have something to say.
I can totally
I literally have to like backtrack 15 years because I've like blocked most of the things. And so these were just like small things that started, and then they went into, they were always small things, but his anger started growing like a monster was being made, like escalating anger. I couldn't wear earrings, and I have this issue with metal. Like I react to anything that's in my ear. It doesn't even have to be real gold or anything. I literally react to anything. So my mom had told him that, don't make big earrings. She's not going to wear earrings. I still don't wear earrings. Like I barely ever wear earrings. So my mom told him that don't make earrings for her because her ears swell up and she won't be able to wear. So instead of wasting money, don't make them. If you want to make something for the wedding, also make something small and she'll wear. But they were all about showing off. So they made massive earrings and my ears were like hanging. So 1 month of wedding festivities and meeting people and dinner and all of that, my ears had given up. Like I literally could not put a earring inside my ear. And we were going for dinner. Everything was planned. So I removed a small pair of earrings. I was like, I can't wear this. My ears are hurting. And there was this one medicine I used to use wasn't available in Dubai. So I didn't even have to back up to like put it in my ear for it to heal faster. And I remember I put the earring and I'm like, it's just not going in my ear. So I removed it and I kept it for something else.
Very
Oh my
simple.
God. Like, I still remember he drew everything was on my dressing table. He threw every single thing on the floor. He opened all the cupboards. He threw every single thing on the floor. Went and told the guy, "You go and get her bag. She's going back to Bombay." Called Emirates. That time we didn't do. There was no online booking. He called Emirates. He booked my flight. He called my parents up. I'm sending her to Bombay. She's so disobedient. She doesn't listen to anything I tell her. What kind of a daughter you have brought up? Over earrings. He had done this repeatedly for months and months and months till I actually got pregnant. And when I got pregnant, also it was not the most interesting matter. But when I was pregnant, I was super sick because he would continuously tell me that when we have kids, I will take the kids and I'll throw you away. So it always became like this fear for those 7 months that I was married, that I was with him, that he's gonna, if there's a baby, he's gonna take my baby away and he's gonna leave me. And I don't know what he's gonna do with me. He might just throw me somewhere here and tell my, make something else up and tell my parents that I ran away or something. So I was super sick. Like my ketone level was 3+++. The doctors were like, what, like, she's not going to survive here. They gave me medication and he hid my medicines. And I was like, I was 50 kgs. Like I was literally half my size when I was almost, I think, 2 months pregnant. He didn't let me have a single medication. I was throwing up literally at least like 30 times a day. They had put 30 bottles of saline. And by the time I left the hospital, my hand was like a beaten tomato. Like the amount of saline, this whole palm, because they were like, she's literally going to die. She has no nutrient in her body.
Right.
And that was I think that was the turning point when I came back to India because I was really sick. The doctor was like, you have to send her back to India. She is going to die. Let her be in her own safe space with her parents. She'll be a little better because the report card said that ketone level +++, it says depression or diabetes. But I don't have diabetes. So it was the latter. It was depression. Because of just being out there and not understanding, not being able to talk, not understanding what was happening to me, not understanding that what he's doing is also wrong. Like it was almost like, how can I make him feel better about himself in every way possible, even though I was not at fault. And when I came back to India, the abuse was constant. The abuse over every single thing. He would just abuse me, my family members, my sister who was barely 16, my other sister who was 4 years old at that point. Like, just like, and it was not just basic abuse, it was filthy abuse, like filthy abuse. You can't hear anyone who probably looks like him, walks like him, spoke like him to have this kind of a behavior on the side that not many people knew about. When I came to India, I was still sick, and it was Valentine's Day, and he fought over something really small, but that small thing became so massive is when I decided that I'm not going to go back to India. Anything will happen, I'm not going to go back to India. And that was exactly in Feb 2006.
Right. So you had been in Dubai with him for about 2 years, or like?
No, only 9 months.
9 months,
only
right?
9 months.
Right. So, Zaaria, did you ever try to file a complaint in Dubai against this? Against the mistreatment that you were subjected to?
I didn't know it was mistreatment. I didn't know it was violence. I didn't know that these kind of things happen. I had no idea. And I honestly, the year Domestic Violence Act was even formed in India was 2005, the year that I got married. Before that, we didn't even have a provision out here.
Right.
Anything that was called domestic violence. So yeah. So if like India as sorry, I think I lost you 1 minute. India as a country didn't have a provision for the women that living out here. It was never spoken about.
Yes.
So there's something called violence.
Correct.
So I didn't even know it was happening.
Right.
And what would I file? When I came back, also barely anyone believed me looking at him. I had zero evidence till my hospital file didn't come back to me after the police filed a case asking for my hospital life where it's written bleeding yesterday and brought in today. So I literally won all my maths because I was bleeding. He had hit me. He didn't take me to the hospital. He took me to the hospital. I was like, you have to take me to the hospital.
Yes.
Because I was so sick, I couldn't even get up from the bed.
I understand, because when we are in a marriage, we always try to save the marriage, and we always think like maybe he'll get better, and that's all. That's usually how we think, right? We never think of going to the authorities and complaining about them. I I can totally understand. So, did you even try to approach Indian embassy at Dubai? Like,
I was not allowed to go anywhere if he was not with
okay.
me. I didn't have he took away my phone. He broke my phone into pieces. I was not allowed to make any calls. If I made one call to my parent, I would get a long lecture as to how I was wasting money, even though he could call whoever he felt like. His bills at that point would come like 50 grand a month because he had work in India. His dad would talk to people for hours and hours. I was the only person that was given like 100 dirhams.
Oh.
And I could not finish that. So I just didn't have anything. I literally lived in I would call it back then, golden cage. Not allowed to meet anyone, not allowed to talk to anyone, no one can come over, no one can go nothing. It was a zero.
So how did you manage your fleeing from Dubai to India? Like, how did you manage the travel way back to India?
So the doctor, when she saw me last, she put me in emergency because she was like, she's very sick. Like, I could not even stand. I don't even know how to tell you. I could not even stand. I was that sick.
Absolutely. Because I remember I fled from Japan in 2016 with my son, my 3-year-old son.
Yeah.
And when I came
You
here,
told me.
yeah, I tried to file the FIR, and the first answer the first reply, or the first question that was, thrown at me was, where is the evidence? The act took place in Japan. How can we go and just check, whether what you are saying is correct or not? So
yes, 100%.
Yeah, and it's been 5 years. I'm still fighting the case. It is still in High Court, again due to COVID, again getting delayed. So I don't know. Why are we as petitioners made to suffer for this? I have no idea. And this is such a big.
I wasn't the petitioner. I was the respondent.
Oh.
I had not filed anything. He had filed it. So it's not like I went to court because I didn't even know there was anything like you could go to court to fight custody, or you could go to court to get some, like, court was not a part of my lifestyle or even understanding. I didn't know anything about it. So he filed it, and he was asking for my son's custody, thinking that he will win and he'll be in power. Like, it was almost like a power ego play at that point. So I literally responded to everything. The only thing I filed was domestic violence, and that is about it. Everything was filed by him. I was responding. So I fully understand when it comes to evidence and what to show, because I also had no evidence. It had been so many months. It had been almost a year and a half for me to have come back or to have any evidence on me other than the hospital file that I had.
Right. So after when you filed the FIR that under Section 498, so was any action taken by the court authorities?
Sorry, can you repeat it again?
Yeah, you filed an FIR, right, in Mumbai in 2007 under Section 498A. So was any action taken by the court authorities?
So no, when you file the FIR, there's an immediate arrest, and post that they take you to court. I think they take the convict to court for like 2 days or 3 days depending on the crime. And when you pay the amount of bail, you're out. He was given his passport and he was just out because he was getting calls, and and at that point they had a lot of connection, I can say. And like, my police officer was getting threatened, saying that, oh, you write down any amount on the check, I will give that to you, don't file the charge sheet, don't do this, don't do that. And that just went on, but they released him in 3 days. And the ACP was a lady, and she met me much later, and she saw me and she was like, if I knew little bit about what was going on, I would have kept him for a week and not released him. I wish you had come to me earlier. Because the police officers and stuff, they understand body language, they understand behavior, including my police officer. I had gone to three police officers before that at the what you call police station, and none of them took my matter. They all knew what family he was. None of them. There was only one police officer took my matter, and he was like, "No, I fully believe this girl. There's nothing in anything that she has said, and I am going to go forward. And no matter how much they try to bribe him, till date, he did not take a single penny."
Wow.
So yeah, I feel like our Indian judicial system needs to be like run by people who actually understand the gravity of the situation and what it is like to be in an abusive marriage and what it's like to have kids who are a part of an abusive marriage.
Right, rightly said. So how was the support from your parents and the relatives?
Yeah, I'm not going to say about relatives because relatives, everyone likes to have a little bit of a conversation, but like my parents, my own family, like my immediate circle, my friends have been super supportive about it. My parents have also obviously been supportive about it, but overall it's been good. I feel like without my father I would not be where I am right now.
So nice, Zaaria. You are a photographer by profession, right?
No, I used to do it, but I don't do it anymore. I work with my dad full time. We have a transport business. I work with my dad full time.
So this is how you rebuilt yourself after you came back from Dubai, right? You joined your dad's business. Okay.
I started working much later with my dad. My dad literally like helped me through every single thing. He's taken care of me from day one, because when I came back, I was pregnant. I was sick. And literally 30 days after Mohammed was born, my ex sent a legal notice saying that we want the custody of the unborn baby. And I was in court, I think, till 6 years. Like every other day I was sitting in court. Every day there was this court work, that court work, this lawyer, that police, this judge, this magistrate. So I literally didn't do anything other than going to court for 6 years.
So how did you manage your work and the never-ending court dates?
No, I wasn't working at that point. I was a full-time mom, and I used to go to court. Like my whole life was come home, read everything that was written, reply back to that, see what other provision I can get, go, try to feed my kid, go to sleep, wake up, next day, same. Because my ex he didn't harass just one way, he harassed in every way possible. And because the family court judges they easily take bribe. And you can get anything done out there. He would bribe them. He would get court dates either pushed back, play around, get them closer. He would send all these letters to my house every other day that, oh, she's gone to the gym. My driver saw she's gone to the gym. Who's taking care of the baby? If you see now, every mother is working out. They're taking care of the baby. Everyone's doing everything. It was almost like, oh, she cannot step out of the house. Who's taking care of my baby? Who's taking care of my baby? And I'm like, you abused me when I was pregnant. It's the same child who was in the womb and who was outside the womb.
Right, Zaaria. So you are the legal custodian of your son at the moment, right?
Yeah. They gave me full custody.
So the Supreme Court, as per the Supreme Court guidelines, it is clearly stated that the single mother is the legal guardian, right? You faced a major obstacle when you realized you needed your ex-husband's signature, right, for your son's passport approval. What was that issue?
So after I got Mohammed's full custody and my ex he stopped accessing visitation rights. It had been almost 3 years that he did not come after getting a visitation rights after the case shut. So I thought that my sister was getting married at that point. They wanted to do a destination wedding, and I was hoping that they would literally they would give me Mohammed's passport. So I started applying for his passport, saying that, hey, this is the court order. I have Mohammed's custody, and my ex is just he has visitation rights, and he's not accessing visitation rights. And there's a whole bunch of letters that say, hey, your visitation rights are from this day to this day. Please come and access it. All the letters were going unheard. So I was like, okay, he wants to disappear. It's fine. It didn't matter to me. I've taken every single paper with me, and I went to the passport office. One person said it'll happen. They said, okay, get this paper, go to this magistrate, okay, get a letter from this person. My Muhammad's passport file was like this big. I swear, like it was this thick. I still have it with me with all the paperwork, whatever I could get from court. Every single thing was there. And I went out there, and for like 3 years, literally back and forth, back and forth. It was just like, when am I going to get the passport? Like, why is it so important?
Yes.
And the last day that I went to the passport office in 2016, it was, I think, December or November, December. And the lady was like, madam, all these papers are fine, but we still need an NOC from your husband. And I'm like,
oh God.
What husband? I could have written, I've been divorced for so many years. I don't know where he is. And she was like, no, madam, then you file for a missing report person. And I'm like, missing report? Like, which missing report? What am I supposed to file? She just gave me like a blind eye. And I was so mad. I remember I was upset and angry at that point. And I was like, don't worry, I'll take care of you outside the passport office. And I came back and I called my uncle, and my uncle was like, there's this website, change.org. Why don't you put it on that? Just file a petition that this is happening with you, and you can just go ahead with it. And that's exactly what I did. And literally, I was in Hyderabad, and I started getting calls. And on Truecaller, it kept saying passport office. I couldn't understand why they were calling me. Then one friend sent a screenshot saying, hey, the passport rules have changed. I got another screenshot, I got a third screenshot. It was all over Twitter and news and all. And I really never accessed so much of social media when I'm on a vacation. And then I get a call when I come back to Bombay saying that, hey, please come to the passport office. Your passport will be ready. And I'm like, okay, what changed? So I went to the passport office. The first time I didn't introduce myself, even though they knew who I was. I sat down. He was like, "Oh, Ms. Patni, आपकी ministry में बहुत चर्चा हो रही थी," and I was like, what?
Yeah.
And I sat down, and the annex to see were exactly my words, exactly what I had asked for, exactly all my grievances were written point from, like, okay, if you're separate. Once I went to the passport office and they handed me the annexure, and when I was reading the annexure, I was like, these are exactly my words from point A to point D. Every single thing is what I have said, like all the different scenarios that could not, according to the old Indian law, not let a child have a passport, not let a minor have a passport from a single parent family. So all the options, whether it was an ongoing divorce matter or a matter where one parent is not letting the child like go abroad for a vacation, or the parent is abroad and refuses to come back and has left the family stranded, deserted in India. So there are many different situations that take place, and unfortunately our law our country did not recognize these situations. The people who even were struggling were also 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds who wanted to go abroad to pursue. Like, I got a message a few days back of this lady that, thank you so much for doing this, because I was struggling for 21 years. I didn't know how to get in touch with my father. I've not been able to travel abroad, and now finally I can go abroad. And I'm so glad you changed it, because my mother would run pillar to post and they would just not let me get a passport. So there are like stories of children, and when you read them, you realize that how much suffering is there in our world, but there are people who do not recognize it, and they think it's okay to just belittle other people and just, like basically play power play. And I just like, if this is what I had to go through to help so many women, then why not?
Right. And due to your persistent efforts, courage, and your strong determination, this online passport form.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, the online passport form now only requires the name and signature of either of the two parents, hence making it easy for the single parent community to apply for passport for their kids. Yes, Zaaria. Thanks a lot, Zaaria. Seriously, this is a very big matter, very big issue, and when you raise a voice, whenever one person raises a voice, he is representing voices of so many people who are sailing in the same boat. Yes. And so
100%. What? And I really wish there was somebody out there who had to paved that way for me, but I just had
Yes.
to be the person who
Yes.
went all about. I've gotten so many messages in the past so many years saying that thank you so much for doing this. We never had the
Absolutely.
courage to do it. We never
Yes.
had the courage to do it. For me, in my head, I was like, no, I want my son to travel. I want to
Hmm.
take him abroad. I want him to. Because I would see his face become so small when other cousins would go and they would like come back from vacations, or his school friends or anything. In that sense, it's different when you're financially not being
Hmm.
able to do a certain thing, that you then you grow up in that way. But in my atmosphere, where people do travel, and
Hmm.
coming from a sort of privileged background where people do have, like, my family, my friends, my cousins kids, everyone was traveling, and he would always say, but why can't I go?
I
Why
know.
can't I go? And you get really upset about it. And that's when I was like, no, I have to do this. I'll try in every way possible to do
Hmm.
this, because I know that if I had to ask my ex that, hey, can you sign it? He would, that would be in his hand. That would be like,
Yes.
oh no, I'm the authority.
Yes. Yes.
Like, how can you? Like, you have,
Yes.
like, what you call, you have gone ahead and done all of this, and you've spoiled
Yes.
my name, and I would never, it was bad. It was like really bad. Like, too many things were in place at that point.
Right. Right. So, Zaria, what obstacles have you faced being a single parent in India?
I think passport was my main issue.
Hmm.
Passport was the main issue. Second thing was, a lot of people thought I was making up stuff and talking utter
Hmm.
rubbish, including people from my family thought I was making stuff up. And
Hmm.
it just so happened that there were a bunch of there were other people who encountered him, and they were like, she's not lying. Whatever she's saying the truth, because we have seen it ourselves.
Hmm.
And when I see back, I'm like, where am I and where is he? He's absconded. His
Hmm.
third marriage is also ended. And that
Okay.
lady also contacted me, and she has a lot of proof from,
Hmm.
because she had saved everything, and she was like, I really wish I had asked somebody. And she's not from India, so she had no connection
Okay.
in India.
Hmm.
So, and she somehow managed to find me through an interview, and someone had, like, someone,
Hmm.
there was a common person who randomly happened to say my name. And I'm like, it's crazy how social media can also work in your favor
Yes.
as well. And
Yes.
yeah, there were a lot of people that spoke about me, like a lot of them, that she must have done something, she must
Hmm.
have said something. And in my
Yes.
head now, I'm like, name one thing I could have possibly done
Yes.
that I had to face all of this. Name one thing.
Yes.
And I wouldn't be here by God's grace if I had to do something bad to
Hmm.
him or to anybody.
Right. So, I really want to ask you, Zaria, like, what things should be kept in mind by women who get married to NRIs specifically?
I think first, secure yourself in your country.
Mm-hmm.
Like, secure yourself in your country.
Mm-hmm.
Financially, independence is one thing that I think women should be doing, or
Hmm.
find a way to, if you like work, like find your own uh,
Hmm.
work, which you probably do here abroad, before taking a step to get married to an NRI. Because I've heard of people who get stuck out there. They have nowhere to go. They have no
Yes.
financial help, and it all sounds so scary, right? Like,
Yes.
under the act of marriage, people
Yes.
misuse so many different things. And when you
Yes.
think about it, you're like, I'm rather happy single than getting into any kind of marriage.
Hmm.
So I feel like women should really secure themselves, even though
Yes.
we might try to find so much of information about a particular person. Till you don't marry them, you really don't know what they are
Right.
about, because they can be a different friend, they
Hmm.
can be a different husband, they can be a different son. And
Hmm.
that goes for women as well. I don't want to only subject it to one side, but you can be a different person with everyone, or you can be the worst to your
Right.
spouse, and
Right.
that no one can guarantee.
Wow, Zaria, it was such nice, it was such a pleasure having you today with us. Despite facing many adversities in life, you have emerged victorious. You overcame every obstacle that came your way, Zaria. You are such an inspiration, to many, many women like
Thank
me
you.
across the
Thank
nation, Zaria. And thank you.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely, Zaria. And, thank you so much for being with us today. You spared your valuable time for us. And
No
just
problem
such
at all.
a, such a beautiful human being. inside out.
Thank you so much.
It was an
Thank
honor
you
having
so
you with us
much.
today, Zaaria. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much for sharing your story. And it's really inspiration to all the women. Like what you feel, even when I listen to your story, I also feel the same. Like what happened, what a girl go through his journey. Each and
Yes.
every point that you covered, that's amazing. This
Thank you
also
so much
needs
for
courage.
having me. Sorry?
Yes. This also needs courage to speak
Yes.
your
Yes.
story in
Yes.
front of everyone. So I really appreciate this effort of yours.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Zaaria,
much
and
for having
much,
me.
much love to you and Mohammed and your entire family.
Much-
And we wish you all the best in all your future endeavors, Zaaria. And please
Thank you
stay in
so
touch
much.
with us. Yeah.
You too. Wish you all the
Yes.
best to you and your son
Thank you
also.
Thank
so
you.
much,
And
Zaaria.
once the
Thank
Thank
video is
you.
edited, I will let
Yeah.
you know once it's ready to go
Yes.
on our platforms,
Okay.
right?
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Zaaria.
Thank
Thank
Bye.
you,
you.
Zaaria.
Bye,
Bye.
Zaaria. Bye.